Hey there Dev Squad, Virtus here and welcome back to my Unreal Engine 4 Endless Runner tutorial series. In today's video we're going to be showing you how you can get your player to be able to switch between the three lanes. As of right now all they can do is just move left and right just like this. However, it's not particularly precise, it's not the way that you would find it in most Endless Runner games. Instead, what we're going to be doing is having the player swipe on their mobile phone to switch between the three lanes, and it's going to take you precisely within that lane, so straight in the middle, so that way you're guaranteed to get the pickups, guaranteed to hit the obstacles and all of that good stuff. Now what we're going to be doing in today's video is getting the player moving left, right and sort of switching between the lanes, and in the next video that is where we're going to be focusing on the input side of things, so that's going to be your gesture control. So for now, let's go ahead and dive straight into it. So the first thing that I need to do is establish exactly where the center of each of these lanes are going to be. And the way I'm going to do this is by opening up my master tile. My master tile is something that we've created in the last few videos and is something that is just being spawned endlessly in our game. If we go to our viewport, we can take a look at this tile. Now with this material, I have set it up in a way that it's very easy to see the center of the lane. And this is just the middle of each lane going straight down here between the big white lines. Now I need to get the location of that center, and the way that I'm going to do this for each lane is by adding in a couple of arrow components. So what I'm going to do is with these arrow components, I'm going to have them zeroed out like they are at the moment, and I'm just going to move them along. So the first one is -330, and then if I duplicate this, move it over to the center of the middle lane, it's going to be 0, and then lastly for arrow 2, I'm going to move it over, and by the time it gets to the middle of the lane, it is going to be 320. And you can see that's now centered. So that is perfect for me, and we now have the location. What I'm going to do with these arrows, I'm just going to give them names. So the first one, I'm going to rename this in the components panel in the top left to lane 0. The second one is going to be lane 1. And then the third one is going to be lane 2. So now we have our three lanes, and what we can do is start to work with these with blueprints to get the character to move across these three lanes. So what we're going to do is close this master tile now, and we're going to go into our third person BP folder. Go to blueprints and open up your third person character, as the character blueprint is where you're going to be handling all this input stuff and moving the character around and all of that good stuff. So what I'm going to do within here is find myself some empty space up here. Now for test purposes, I'm just going to use the inputs on the keyboard left and right to fire off all this lane control stuff. So what I'm going to do is make myself some space, and I'm just going to right click and type in left. And then I'm also going to right click and type in right. And these are just keyboard controls that we're going to be using for testing just for now. And with these we've got to set up a whole bunch of blueprint functionality and a timeline and all of that good stuff to get it to seamlessly switch between those three lanes. Now before we can set all of these blueprints up, we do need a couple of variables. First of all, we need one to tell the character which lane they are currently in, the lane they're going into, and then also the locations of each of those lanes. So the first one, in the bottom left hand corner, add a variable and give this the name lane. And then in the top right hand corner, make sure your variable type is set to integer. And then once you've done this, compile it and set your default value to 1 as you're by default spawning in that middle lane. Now we also need a new variable called new lane, so just add that, it should still be an integer, and then if you compile this your default value should be 0. It doesn't really matter too much what that is. And then lastly we are going to add one more variable, and we're going to give this the name lane X, or lane Y rather, as that is sort of how we're moving it around. We're moving it on the Y axis. And we're going to set this to the type float. And what we're also going to do is turn this variable of ours into an array so it can hold a little bit more information, so it can hold the information for all three of those lanes. So what we're going to do is just next to the variable type, you got the little tic-tac looking icon here, press that and then just convert it to an array. Compile this, and what you should be able to do now is press the little plus icon here 3 times to add in 3 different values. So the first one, as you remember, was minus 330. The second one was 0, and then the third one, or the third piece of information rather, is going to be 320, just like this. So the engine now knows where those lanes are going to be. So let's start making the magic happen. Let's switch between the lanes. The way we're going to do this is when they first press left or right, it is going to set our new lane. So drag out from pressed and set your new lane variable. And what we're going to do is clamp this. And the clamp is just going to stop it going above 2. And then, so set your minimum and your maximum. So minimum should be 0 and maximum should be 2. And then your value is simply going to be integer plus integer, just like this. So let's move this up, give us a bit more space. Move this along, just like that. And it's going to be integer plus integer. Now the original value is going to be our lane. So get lane, hook this up into A, and then we're going to add -1 to this because we're shifting over to the left. And we've got to do the same thing on the other side. So what we're going to do is copy all of this and paste it. So what we should do when we press right on the keyboard, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to set our new lane equal to lane +1. So going left is going to take us down a lane, and then going right is going to go up the lanes, if that makes sense. And now what we need to do is, now we've got the functionality to tell the engine which lane we're going into, we actually need to make it switch over to that lane now. And the way that we're going to do this is by using the setActorLocation node, and we're going to lerp in between using a timeline to sort of fade them over to that lane instead of teleporting them over. So what we're going to do is right click in the center here, and we are going to add a timeline. And you can see at the bottom we can add a timeline, and we're just going to give this a name, lerp timeline, just like that. And then from both of these, hook them up to play from start. And we're going to open up this timeline, and we're going to add a float track. And with this float track, we are going to give this the name lane Y. And then with this at the top here, we are going to set the length of this track to 0.1 seconds. Now this length that we're defining is essentially how long it's going to take the character to get from one lane to another. So if you want it to be quicker, reduce the time. If you want it to be slower, increase the time. So we've got this, we've got our length, and we now need to add some keyframes, just a start and a finish, essentially. So we're going to right click on here and add a new key to the curve float 0. With this, with the time for the first one, we're going to set the time to 0 and the value to 0. And then we're also going to right click again and add a new key. And this time, at time 0.1, we are going to set the value to 1. And what you should have is something a bit like this if you zoom out. And don't forget, you can just zoom in and out with this, just using the scroll on the keyboard. Sorry, on your mouse. Compile this, and we are good to go within our timeline. What we need to do now is go back into the event graph and set up the functionality for this lerp and to move the character itself. So when it's finished playing that timeline, we are going to set lane equal to the new lane, like we did here. So what we're going to do is get a reference to new lane and hook it up into there. On the update, we are going to drag this out and we are going to tell it to set actor location. And what this is going to do is every time that timeline updates, it's going to move the character. And the reason why it's moving the character is because the target is currently set to self. Now, we need to feed a location into here. So what we're going to do is break down this vector, because I want to be able to put float values in here instead. So right click on the little orange vector pin and press split structure pin. And this is going to break it down into our X, Y, and Z. And now all we've got to do is just feed a bit of information into there. Now, like I said, we are moving this character along on the Y axis. So what we're doing is getting the lane Y, and we are basically just feeding it into here along with the information for the X and the Z that it already has, because we're not changing the X and the Z. So what I'm going to do is get a reference to the capsule component, and I'm going to get the world location from that in itself. And I'm going to right click on this again to split the structure pin, and with this I can directly feed in my X and my Z. And now the only one we've got to worry about is my Y. And the way that we're going to do this is by using the lerp node. So we are going to add a float lerp, and we're going to hook this up into our new location for Y. And for the A, the B, and the alpha, we are going to get this information from what we've got already. So, first of all, we are going to get our lane Y and hook this up into our alpha. And then, what we're going to do is drag out from here and we're going to get our lane Y, first of all, get a reference to that, drag it out, and just get a reference of that, and hook this up into our A. Get another reference of this just by copying and pasting this, and hook it up into your B. Now, get a reference to lane, and hook this up into your first reference here for alpha. And then also get a reference to new lane and hook this up into your get reference for B. And your array should always be hooked up to your lane Y. Now what you should have here with all of this code is a functioning system to switch between your lanes. So let's go ahead and compile this to try it out. Press play in your runner level, and then if you move left, it's going to switch to the left lane, move right, it's going to move into the middle one, and you can just seamlessly switch between these lanes here, and it is working just the way that you would want it to for an endless runner. Now what we still need to do is set up the functionality for gesture control, so you can swipe on your phone to move it left and right, but that is for another video. What we do have for now is simple switching between the 3 lanes. Anyway guys, that is everything. Once again, thanks for watching, stay awesome, keep curating. Your boy Virtus, signing out. This video was made possible by my supporters on Patreon. If you want more videos like this, check out my Patreon page using the link in the description. To stay up to date on new releases, make sure you follow us on social media.